December 24th, 6 p.m. A man approximately 33 years old arrived unconscious after a motorcycle accident. No helmet, no ID, no wallet, no phone, nothing. Paramedics said they found him on a back road. The bike destroyed, him lying several meters away. Moderate head trauma, fractured ribs, but stable. We registered him as John Doe because we had no other name. While stabilizing him, I ordered routine tests. And there, I found something that chilled my blood. The scan showed masses in liver, lungs, lymph nodes. Advanced metastatic cancer. Stage 4. This man hadn't arrived at the hospital because of the accident. He'd arrived because his body was already dying. I gave him weeks to live, maybe days. It was Christmas Eve. Families decorated the hospital with lights and laughter. And this unknown man, with nobody asking about him, lay alone in room 408 dying from a disease he probably didn't even know he had. At 8 p.m., he woke briefly, his eyes opened, disoriented but conscious. I asked, "What's your name? Do you have family?" He looked at me with strange calm and said something I'll never forget. "I have no family, doctor, but I want to donate everything that can save someone." Then he lost consciousness again. And I stood there, wondering who this man was who in his last conscious moments didn't ask for help for himself. He asked for help for strangers. I called Dr. Alicia Fernandez, the hospital's transplant coordinator. I explained the situation. Unidentified patient, terminal cancer, wants to donate organs. She reviewed the scans and shook her head. "Michael, with metastatic cancer, most of his organs aren't viable. Cancer could transfer to the recipient." I understood. But something in that man's eyes haunted me. At 10 p.m., he woke again, more lucid this time. I explained his condition, the cancer, the weeks to live, the impossibility of donating most organs. I expected him to collapse, to cry, to ask why. But he just nodded calmly and asked, "So what can I donate, doctor?" I told him the truth. "Your heart is healthy. Your kidneys too. Corneas, some tissues and bone, but not much else." He smiled, a genuine peaceful smile. "Then donate those, doctor. Please. I have nothing else to give in this world. But if my heart can beat in another chest, if my eyes can see for someone else, then my life had purpose." I asked, "Don't you have anyone? Anyone you'd want to call?" He shook his head. "I was an orphan, never married, no children. I only have this failing body, and I wanted to serve something good." We signed the donation papers that night. John Doe, without a real name, choosing to give his death so others could live. On Christmas Eve, while families celebrated outside, this unknown man was making the greatest gift anyone can make. And I didn't know yet that this decision would change 7 lives, and mine forever. Over the next hours, John Doe's condition rapidly deteriorated. His body was giving up. At 2 a.m. on the 25th, Christmas now, he entered deep coma. Vital signs declining. Dr. Fernandez activated transplant protocol. They called the team, started searching for compatible recipients. I stayed with him. I don't know why. Maybe because nobody else would. This man was going to die alone on Christmas, and something in me couldn't leave him completely abandoned. At 4 a.m. they declared brain death. His heart still beating, maintained by machines, but he was no longer there. Dr. Fernandez came in with a list. "Michael, we found recipients. 7 total." She showed me the names. Andrew, 45, waiting for heart 2 years. 3 kids. Camilla, 28, liver failure. Mr. Garcia and Lupita, both on dialysis for years. Sophia, 8-year-old girl, blind since birth. Veteran Miguel, with bone cancer. And one more, 7 lives waiting in darkness. And this nameless man, this stranger who arrived dying on Christmas Eve, was going to light them all up. The transplant team worked all Christmas morning. While families woke to open presents, surgeons removed organs with reverent precision. A heart, a liver, 2 kidneys, corneas, tissues, all packaged, preserved, sent. And when they finished at dawn, John Doe's body rested in peace. He had literally given everything. Over the next 48 hours, I witnessed something extraordinary. Andrew received the heart. Surgery was perfect. When he woke, his wife and kids were there. He cried, saying, "I'm going to see my children graduate." Camilla received the liver. 3 days later, she walked the hallways, color in her face for the first time in months. Mr. Garcia and Lupita, both freed from dialysis machines after years. Sophia, the 8-year-old, received the corneas. 2 weeks later, they removed the bandages. Her first words seeing her mother, "You're beautiful, Mom." Her mother fell to her knees crying. Veteran Miguel received bone tissue grafts that would let him walk without pain. 7 people, 7 families, all transformed by a man they'd never know. But I needed to know who he was. I couldn't let him die as John Doe. I asked Carmen, our social worker, to investigate. She reviewed missing persons databases, fingerprints, dental records. Nothing for days. Then she found something. A small carpentry shop outside Chicago had reported their only employee hadn't shown up for work in 3 days. They gave his name, physical description. It matched. Carmen got his employment documents. And when I saw the name on that paper, I had to sit down, because my legs couldn't hold me. His name was Jesus Morales, 33 years old. Carpenter, orphaned at 7, raised in a foster home in San Antonio. He'd worked construction his whole life. Houses, furniture, repairs. Lived alone in a small apartment. No family, no close friends. A year earlier he'd discovered the cancer. Stage 2 then. Doctors recommended aggressive treatment, chemotherapy, surgery. But Jesus had no health insurance, couldn't afford it, chose not to treat himself. And in that moment, a year before his death, he signed organ donation papers. Carmen found more. Jesus had lived humbly, saving every dollar he could. When he died, he had $28,000 in his bank account, everything he'd saved over years. His will, handwritten 6 months before, said, "Donate all my money to the foster home where I grew up, and donate my body to help whoever needs it." A man who had nothing gave everything, his money, his organs, his life, and never asked anyone for anything. I cried when I read those documents. This 33-year-old carpenter named Jesus, who lived and died alone, had touched more lives in his death than most touch in an entire lifetime. 3 months later, I decided to do something I'd never done. I visited the 7 recipients. I needed them to know who had given them this second chance. Andrew was at his son's soccer game. He saw me and ran to hug me. "Dr. Michael, look, I can run again. My heart beats strong." I told him about Jesus. He cried. "A carpenter, like Joseph, my God." Camilla was at her home, cooking for her family. Radiant skin, bright eyes. "I'm going to meet my grandchildren someday, doctor, because of him." Sophia, the 8-year-old, was at a park drawing flowers. She saw me and shouted, "Doctor, look what I can see." She showed me her drawing. A bright yellow sun, her first image of the world. Veteran Miguel walked without a cane for the first time in years. All 7 told me the same thing. How do we thank someone who's no longer here? I told them the truth. Live fully, love your families, help strangers when you can. That's what he'd want. But there was something else I discovered. The 7, without knowing each other, had started doing something extraordinary. Andrew volunteered at hospitals. Camilla visited terminal patients. Veteran Miguel mentored homeless youth. Sophia drew pictures for hospitalized children. All 7 had decided to live as Jesus lived, giving without expecting anything back. One man had saved 7 lives, and those 7 lives were saving hundreds more. Today I visit Jesus Morales' grave every Christmas. It's a simple headstone in a public cemetery. I bring flowers, and I tell him about the lives he saved. Andrew saw his daughter graduate from medical school. Camilla is a grandmother now. Sophia is a professional artist. Her paintings are in galleries. All 7 are alive, flourishing, giving. People ask me if I believe in Christmas miracles, and I always answer the same. Yes, but they're not the miracles we expect. They're not heavenly lights or impossible resurrections. They're lonely carpenters who choose to give everything when they have nothing. Their hearts beating in strangers' chests. Their eyes seeing for the first time, thanks to someone they'll never know. Jesus Morales didn't heal the sick with a touch. Didn't walk on water. But he did something equally extraordinary. He chose for his death to have meaning. Chose love over fear. Sacrifice over survival. I'm Dr. Michael. That Christmas I learned that true miracles don't defy the laws of nature. They simply defy our capacity to believe someone can love strangers that much. If this story touched you, share it. Subscribe, because every week I share cases that remind me why medicine is more than science. It's humanity, because in the end, it doesn't matter what you're named. It matters how you lived and how you loved.